season 4, episode 2. So I have good news, April. My youngest daughter, who just turned, she will be turning 9 months next month in February. She started to say hi and raising her hand up. Yeah, in a very baby way. You know, I have 4 kids and all their personalities are just way different. So I just wonder, it just makes me think about is she just going to be like that big giant personality that gets on everyone's nerves about being bright and chipper and hi, throws up whatever. I just, it just makes me think about that.
I love that. Every kid's personality is so different. I have 3 kids and they are all different. I have one who is my twin, just like me. You know me, you know her. I have another kid who is very bold and blunt and says what she wants to say, and that's how God created her. And then I have a kid who's super chill, super laid back, really not a care in the world, and they're all great. And I've just resolved whatever personality they have, it's exactly the personality they need to do whatever it is they're gonna do when they grow up. So
right, yeah, exactly.
Good. And it's cool how our personalities, you can see them when we're little and they just continue to develop. So me, when I was little, my family used to tell me that I love to talk, so much so that my uncle would kind of be annoyed to have to pick me up from school. It was a 30-minute drive from my school to my grandparents' house, and he said I would talk to him the entire time. And that was in elementary school. And here I am as an adult. And what do I do all day? I talk for a living. So, it's all good. All good.
That's hilarious. I will say I have a son and I have 3 girls. And there's easily more words coming out of my daughters than my son, no doubt. Now, if you talk about gaming, if you talk about Zelda, if you're talking about stuff like that, he's all about it. But he has different topics that he likes to talk about. But for the most part, girls win over easily.
I love it. I love how we just get to sit here and chat it up. And I'm hoping that people recognize that a podcast is, yes, we're going to give them content today, but it's such a great way for people to see you, learn about you, your personality, to connect. It is such a good tool to use as you develop your brand. And all month long, we're talking about podcasting. We are hoping to spark interest in you if you are thinking about starting a podcast, or maybe it wasn't even on the radar and maybe now you're thinking about it. We hope that you're thinking about it. We also hope that if you have a podcast, you're thinking about how to elevate that, because podcasting is such a great way for you to show your personality, your brand personality, what you offer the world. If you missed last episode, we talked about how you got to know your why, you got to know your audience. You got to be able to create this brand identity so that people can connect with your podcast. And as we continue this whole, I guess we can call it a podcast blueprint series, we're going to talk just some very practical things today, all about setting up your podcast. And Mitchell's going to have a lot of words today. He talked about, some of his kids have a lot of words. He is definitely a man of many words. So I feel like he'll love this episode, because I'm going to be leaning heavily on him today as we talk about just the nuts and bolts of setting up your podcast, from equipment to just different tools you can use. So let's just get into it, Mitchell. When I think about, some very basic essential things I need for a podcast, obviously the first thing that comes to mind is audio. You want good audio quality. And I would love to hear your thoughts. First of all, why does good audio quality even matter? And secondly, what are some things that people can use to enhance their audio quality?
Yeah, great question and accurate. I'm going to have a lot of words to say, so I'm going to have to cut back. Even in film, even in movies, even in sitcoms and TV shows, pros like Hollywood level says that audio is even more important than video. That's what carries, that's what connects. The video is just something that kind of helps aid you along. I mean, even before we had video, we had audio for years and years and years. So audio is definitely key. And yes, there are amazing tools out there that like podcast mics and all these recorders and all this stuff. And it is, I'll be first to tell you, it is way overwhelming. But like the previous episode, use what you have. Just get moving. Just start recording on something. And it could be as simple as an audio recording on your phone. Now, there are techniques that you could do to make that as best as you can. I think that's probably a core value of both of ours individually and definitely of our business, is that quality is important and you need to do whatever you can to make quality and excellence priority. And you know what? If you have just a cell phone, then, sorry, let me put it in the shot. There we go. If you have just a cell phone, make it the best thing you can. And one of the things is really what we're doing right now. Part of the reason why these awesome podcast mics sound great is because there is a certain technique, and I'll just talk about one of them, but it's getting up to close to your mic. If this amazing, expensive mic was so far away, it's going to sound like, you know what? So making sure that it's close to your mic, or excuse me, close to your face. And even if it's doing this on just a recording with an audio clip or recording on your phone, I think that's going to do pretty good, actually, to be honest with you. So yeah, as far as like technique and as far as like gear and things, I would start there. Just use what you have. And then as you grow, then you can add to your tool belt.
Yeah, I love how you said as you grow, you can add, right? Start where you are. Obviously, a microphone ad is great. You know, we have our mics are right now on stands or arms, right? So we're not having to hold them. That helps keep everything stable. It keeps the microphone kind of at a uniform distance from our face, from our mouth. So yeah, there are definitely some add-ons. I know one day, talk about growth, just so we dream media, right? Let's dream for a minute, because there will be a day when we are recording this podcast in our own like super decked out podcast studio with maybe some soundproofing. I don't know. We got the panels going on. We got, just a whole bunch of fancy bells and whistles. But again, that comes with growth. The main thing is how can you get the best quality of audio that you have that you can get with what you have, which I think you said that beautifully, Mitchell. Now let's talk about, I've got my podcast idea. I know my why. I'm ready. I got my microphone. I'm ready to record good audio. But this key word here is record. Can you just talk about what does it look like to actually record a podcast? Do you have to have a special equipment, special software, special setup? And not only the software, if you can give us any tips on just the environment that you're recording.
So let's talk about two things: environment and software tools. The environment's key. So I have a family of 6. All 6 bodies are in this house right now. Everybody. I have an upstairs. That's where their bedrooms are. And so knowing that, I have to be careful. And to help, you try to be a good parent, you try to be a good dad, you try to like do things with your kids. I had them make me do not disturb recording, artwork that's on the other side of the door. So anytime they see that's shut, hopefully my 4-year-old and the rest of them will understand that, hey, this is what this means. So setting an environment where it's more conducive to good audio, good pro quality, excellent audio is very important. So that's number one. And you could go, that's step 1, but then you could go all the way up to like step 276 and put up sound panels, which is awesome. But what I have to tell myself and have to check on myself is that just because I don't have sound panels doesn't mean that I can't record a podcast. So, there's step to this, add to your tool belt as you grow. Right. And then as far as software and tools, listen, in 2025, at the time of this recording in January, the free resources that are out there is ridiculous. It's just like a manufacturer of a vehicle. You're going to find someone that just will die on a hill over this software or over on this software. And and so on and so forth. And when you go to YouTube, I do suggest to research. I do suggest to, try free services, to, do all the things, do your due diligence to find out what works best for you. But not only just free services to edit your audio and do all these things, and then find a video to help you figure out how to do it. But there's a ton of free AI tools that will help you out with this. So even if you're a one-man show, one-woman show, there's a ton of resources out there, including AI stuff, that will help all this. I will say one last thing on that. As far as editing and as far as all that stuff, a dab will do you. You're looking to enhance. You're not looking to completely change, whatever you're looking to do. Or if that is your podcast, that's your podcast. But I'm just saying that as a rule of thumb, just let's not get crazy. We're looking to enhance the awesomeness that's already there. And we're just, looking to add a little bit to it. But yeah, just some quick thoughts on that.
No, I love it. I love how you said a dab will do it. Is that like a country?
I don't know. Is that a country thing?
I've not heard a dab will do it. We
dab
need
will
that
do
on
it?
a shirt. A dab will do it. So, totally off topic. I used to teach kindergarten, and that's why I love little kids. But part of kindergarten is teaching them just basic skills of how to use things. And one of the things that I taught them to use was something very basic, glue. Like 5-year-olds don't really know how to use glue all the time. And I used to say, just a dot, not a lot.
Yeah, that's good. I love it. I love it.
Reminded me, a dab will do it. But anyway,
Dab will do
I love it.
Let me add one more thing to that though.
Yes.
Toothpaste is another thing. Like, why is my 4-year-old just like two-handing gripping this toothpaste tube and just getting all the toothpaste on the one tiny little anyway, sorry, I'll digress. Go ahead.
Yeah. Or you have a kid that at 5 years old, you took them to the dentist only to realize for months they were using no toothpaste. Yeah. That's a whole nother story for another day. So, yeah.
That's hilarious. It's hilarious.
We'll just keep going here. All right. We talked about recording. Like, you got to have somewhere to record. You got your audio. The last thing I'll say about this is the hosting and distributing. So what does that mean? Like, you need somewhere for your podcast to live, and then you want to get it out in the world, right? So there are tons of places you can host your podcast that will distribute for you. For example, our podcast currently is on Buzzsprout. So our podcast episodes are held there. You can listen to them on Buzzsprout, but also Buzzsprout is going to distribute them out to the Apple Podcasts or the Spotify or the Amazon or all the different places where podcasts can be listened to. And so you want to think about that too. You want to research that. I've had experience using Lipsum as well. That's a great one. No, they're not sponsoring us. They probably should. But what we are saying is you just need to figure out what platform works well for you. There are tons. Look at how they're designed. What does the interface look like? Is it user-friendly? Is it sort of like intuitive of how it works? You want to make sure that you're able to put it somewhere where it's not stressing you out. I don't know about you, Mitchell. Would you like to speak to that as far as like hosting our podcast on Buzzsprout? Do you feel like that's a pretty like easy interface as far as for the user?
So you definitely have more experience than I do with that. And as far as, I guess I would have a good perspective about it. I mean, they're probably like any service like this, and definitely with any kind of editing stuff or about it, even a computer, you don't know until you know. So you don't know certain things until you either mistake comes up and then, I didn't know how to do that. So that definitely happened to me. But as far as the usability and being able to get in and get out, I think Buzzsprout's a great option. I want to go ahead and add this. This is kind of back to what we were talking about earlier, but I had a great example of environment and tools. Okay. My 4-year-old and I live in a 100-year-old house. It has wood floors and I have a crawl space or like a cellar below. So you can hear footsteps easily. Okay. Even if you're barefoot, it sounds like you're wearing giant boots. She comes through, not in the office, but through the hallway there, and just barreling through like a bull in a china shop. And I didn't hear it in my monitor here. I don't think anyone's going to know, not only because, you try to seclude yourself, but also this mic you only mainly hear anything that comes out this way. You don't really hear anything outside here. And even if you do hear on the sides, it's a limited distance. And because I have it close and most of the mics coming here, you don't hear the bull in the china shop that's literally 10 feet, 12 feet away and on the other side of the door, which by the way is cracked. Like it's not all the way shut. So anyways, just a good example of you add tools to your tool belt as you grow, but having a mic that will cancel out noise is really key when you do audio or you do video.
Yeah, no, I love all of that. I know we touched on a lot today and we really just scratched the surface. Hopefully we gave you just a 30,000 foot view of what it takes to set up your podcast. I hope you have a little bit more courage today to really start a podcast or elevate your podcast. Again, we just scratched the surface. So 2 things. Number 1, stay connected. Subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode, so you can continue to get this good content all month long about podcasting. But then also connect with us. If you're like, man, this is overwhelming. I just need somebody to tell me exactly what to get, exactly what to do, exactly how to set it up. We can totally help you with that. Just connect with us. Send us a DM on Instagram. We would love to get you started in setting up your podcast or elevating your current setup. We love to do that. I'm excited to see all these podcasts that are going to be launched here this year or elevated. And we're just grateful to be a part of it. Thank you for being a part of this community. And we'll see you on the next episode because we
dream media. Let's do that again. Hold on. We got to do that again. Hold on. Let's do it one more time. Ready? Here we go. Because we dream media.